What's up with it? It's your boy, back at it. Two ones in the building. I appreciate all y'all. I want to talk to y'all about one thing that a narcissist does. A narcissist loves. Every time when a narcissist talks to you, a lot of times, a lot of their conversations is about other people's accomplishments. A narcissist, and it be complete strangers or people that's in the neighborhood or people that don't know relation or nothing. They will tell you everything all about the accomplishments of others people in the same predicament or in the same field that you are in. And they do it amongst siblings. They will tell one what the other one has and what they have accomplished, and it kind of makes you feel low. It drops your self esteem, and a lot of times it's deliberately done. They love to talk about others' accomplishment and what they've done, and a lot of you kids or children probably have went through this in life. You listen and you see the smiles on your mother's or your dad's face when they talk about somebody else and what they got going, and you get the totally different reaction when you're trying to do something because they've already made up in their mind how they think your life gonna go. So when you go to your father and you tell him something that you got going, he might stay on it for maybe a minute and he on to something else. You understand what I'm saying? Never giving you the proper conversation about it. Or look, son, what are you trying to do? How much does it cost? What? Nothing. No kind of support. No nothing. But you will hear so much about somebody else and what they have done as far as education or whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of children are held back like that when it comes to some parents that just they hang on tight to children, and it makes others think that it's favoritism and that they are so closely bonded with this parent or with this particular child. And then you see the relationship start to kind of separate a lot of times between some people or situations because a lot of times parents have difficulty letting go, and sometimes a lot of parents want to live their life through their children, not fully letting the person live their lives, living it for them in complete control, and that creates bitterness and resentment for somebody, making somebody feel enslaved. So, and people might get offended, but that's okay. This is a learning lesson. That's what this is. But still, a lot of parents do that. If you go to your parent and say, "Hey, Dad, I got this is such and such I'm trying to do," and they jump right to what somebody else did or they already did it. So I guess if David failed, I'm gonna fail. You know what I mean? They don't put enough energy into you and what you're trying to accomplish in your life. You understand? It's just selfish, and it's just you don't ever want to do that to your children. The ultimate goal is for your children to reach the heights, even if you didn't make it there. You have to understand that. And your children are you all over again. If you were trafficked as a child, they're going to try to traffic your children. It doesn't matter if you had a accidental wreck, they're going to try to make it to where your child does. Remember that. Pray for them. And now, another episode of Psychic Investigator 3. Do 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 do. Now, there's a lot of corruption that goes on in these corporations, in different corporations. We are under attack. And I'm telling you, we are under attack for our whole being, our whole way of living and everything. Now, let me explain something to you. How a lot of these different people get into your system, hack into your devices. Let's say they want to take your identity. Let's say you work at Dillard's in North Carolina. You work at Dillard's. I work at Dillard's in South Carolina. But I got a hold of your information, basically. So, some kind of way, whether somebody just happened to just give it to me or they tried to erase you out the system. Right? So, let's say not only do I have your name and your personal information, but I also work at the same place you work at. And it all could be corporation, but it could also be interference. It's terrorist things. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm you in another state. Maybe even multiple people. I'm you. Copycats, doppelgangs. People will go to any extent to destroy you. You understand what I'm saying? So, a lot of criminal activity. So, I take out one number and change it in your social. And I work at the same place you work at in another state. And my name is spelled just one, maybe letter different than yours, but it's pronounced the same. So a person has managed to get your identity, ID or whatever, also copies, and they're able to try to play the role of you, committing multiple crimes along the way, so that you will be implicated. You have to be careful. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's the things that people do. They, especially, y'all gotta understand, especially if it's people that want to take you down. There's nothing they won't do, and it's a lot of corrupt people out here. So be careful with your information, and know that a lot of it is jealousy on some people's part, or just some random corrupt organization that's involved in doing this, deliberately targeting you. Now, what your awakening does, don't feel guilty about having it, because what it does is opens your eyes. It opens your eyes. Nobody can no longer show you fake love. Everything that you may have thought, it completely flips on it. That's what your awakening does. Your awakening gives you a sense of reality. You start to care more about your health. You start to care more about who you sleep with. You start to care more about who you like around you, or who you should have around you and your children. The awakening is not a bad thing. It's bad for everybody else, because you start to value yourself a lot more, your respect, your space. You ain't itching to be around people, especially if you know they don't really like you. What your awakening does is bring you to life. Your life starts to get better after it. It gets harder, it gets tougher, because that's the journey. But it just imagine you living and perishing without understanding what this life is really about and what you need to watch for. Your awakening does that for you. What your awakening does is gives you common knowledge about so much that you never knew before. It's probably been in you, but that's what they do when they experiment on us. They try to take it away. We were born with these type of common knowledge in our brains, enough to spread it and teach and to do so much with it. But and a lot of people will make you feel bad about it, and then sometimes people become jealous of it. If they see it in the future and they know what's about to come, they go out on a full blown attack the minute you show any signs of that third eye opening. Because that's what your awakening does. It shows you your real enemies. What your awakening does is it makes you go back and look and understand now why certain things happen to you. And why every time something does, people tend to always find a way to make it about the mistakes that you're making. Now what your awakening does is lets you know it's a little more to it at times. You're being attacked in ways that you don't even understand. And once you become aware, they attack even more. What your awakening does, it makes you cover yourself in the armor of God. Because what your awakening does is let you know that you got a lot less than you thought you had. You might not have nothing but God. And what your awakening does, it allows you to accept it, to understand it, and roll with it. Because if no one cares, he does. Your circle is smaller. That's what your awakening does. It stops you from having a need to always need to be around a crowd. If it's going to be a circle, let it be a circle of people who are on a level of love and peace, who has learned how to heal their trauma without spreading it. That's what your awakening does for you. People don't like it because they can no longer get away and do the things that they did before. Your awakening allows you to make people respect you as a human being. What your awakening does, it allows you to finally accept the Lord in your life. And regardless of what people may say, people gonna always talk. But you tell them you're too busy talking to the Lord. You don't really have the time. Your awakening brings you peace, y'all. That's the most important thing. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good one.